They grab Disruptor alongside that one. Now they're probably gonna want to pick up a Dispel or something alongside it. Do you feel like Abaddon or Oracle is? They decided to go for neither of those. They go straight into the next two picks here, and they go with Skywrath and Pango. So both teams have a lot of damage here. BKBs are incredibly valuable for Raven. I'm pretty sure you just build like, assuming that Visage is probably going to be a core. But you probably just want to build like triple BKBs in the three of your cores, like your first items against this lineup here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're getting run over by the Skywrath Rage, Pango, the Kiro Primal. Like, this is actually just insane magical damage. You just need like tanky heroes in order to respond to this one. I'm pretty sure they just pick like three beefy boys.
I mean, if you look at it right now, 5RATFORCESTAFF is like all magic damage, right? There is no physical damage coming out from this draft at all. Which something I actually found really funny is the patch notes from yesterday, which was the fix to Primal Beast, where they're like, yeah, Uproar doesn't reduce your damage anymore. Our bad. Did you know about that?
It just reducing damage, yeah.
It was no. When you activated it, it took your damage away instead of giving you the damage. You know how it's like you get damage per stack when you activate it? You would just lose like 60 damage. It was very cool.
Oh. Was that like wait, when did that happen?
It was just hot. It was just hot patch yesterday. It was very cool.
Are you, dude? All right. I shouldn't say that, but I was not aware. I was at this boot camp and not aware that was an issue.
I don't think a lot of people realize, unless I read the patch notes wrong, but that's what it was saying. It's like, yeah, fixed a bug that was causing Uproar to reduce your damage instead of grant you damage. And I'm like, that's not good.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I think the ability is too good. I like the fact that the hero just has like 72 damage and it gets another 10 just by skilling Uproar. He doesn't even need to
now.
like 8? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think it was nerfed in C. Yeah, I think they nerfed the base damage in C from that ability, which I mean makes sense because, like you said, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
10 seconds.
Let's break down some of these other picks here. Again, I was talking about how they just need like beefy boys in order to respond to this huge magical damage. They pick themselves up a Kunkka that they can either play as the mid laner or position 1 here. Not sure where they're going to put this yet. But that's somebody else who builds like first item BKB. The boat buff is going to come in like super handy here.
Yeah.
And like negating some of this burst damage from all this magical on the heroes on 5RAT. So this is one of the better pause ones or mids that they could have taken.
I think it's also decent against like the Pango Primal Beast, right? Like in terms of like the mobility on Primal Beast, being able to like X him back so he can't like onslaught away. Same with Pango and his, being able to just swashbuckle away. So it just gives them the control. My worry though, kind of like you were saying, like the run buff is really good at reducing that magic burst, is that if the boat isn't there in time, they're just dead. So they have to like definitely play around the boat in these fights for the side of Ravens.
Yeah, I've been playing lots of ability arena, where that is also a key part of the strategy.
I have yet to play any ability arena because I didn't have access to like my computer for the last like week. So yeah.
Well, I can tell you that I currently live in a house with a top 50 ability arena SEA player, Z Freak.
That's not surprising. That's not surprising.
I've been getting
that dude's a mean
coaching
machine when it comes to custom games.
Yeah, he is. Everyone else just playing pubs, and he's in his custom games. All right, last pick, they end up going for the Medusa here. I mean, it makes sense that you want to mix in a little bit of physical damage, and then it's like hard to kill hero as well. So it's gonna be Medusa sitting on the front line, like sieging with everyone sitting behind him, like spamming out spells. So I do like. I think Medusa is one of the better heroes they could have last picked here. It had to be like some sort of range carry that can sit super far back. So they got Primal and Pango can be initiated. Medusa rounds this draft out quite nicely. And they respond with the Sven. So your last beefy boy, another core hero that's going to build first item BKB, like we were talking about earlier. Makes sense.
This hero is actually really interesting because I've seen it as a response pick to the Primal Beast now, I think like 3 or 4 times. And I honestly didn't really expect this. But it's been Ravens, I think, who have specifically picked the Sven into this Primal Beast offlane. and you just like don't put a level in your cleave at all, and then just wait until you're like level 4, and then you just, you know, double point and cleave, and then you just start farming jungle and stuff. It's really interesting. But yeah, I like it. I do like the draft from both teams.
You're very interesting.
Oh, I don't think so, but I appreciate that.
There, we're gonna build you back up. So I like. I think I prefer the draft here on 5RATFORCESTAFF. It really comes down to how quickly these BKBs are going to come out and how well these lanes go. You have a lot of damage inside the lanes on Ravens. Don't get me wrong. The fact that the glimpse gives you damage now on a disruptor means that this hero does a disgusting amount of damage, and I think, you know, even somebody like Primal's Beast is going to struggle to survive that. So it comes with a lot down to lanes, but a race against the clock against BKBs when you have Medusa on your side, that is not a race where I bet on 5RATFORCESTAFF. So I'm going to have to go with Ravens for this first game here, Ricky. I'm betraying my North American roots. I've seen what Hikori's been doing to this SEA BTS tournament. SA all the way. Let's go.
Dude, I will say that Ravens looked borderline unstoppable through most of the group stage. That being said, 5RATFORCESTAFF was one of the teams that actually take a draw against them. So they have played, you know, surprisingly well.
Capable of winning. That's what you want to say.
Yeah, they're
winnable.
capable of winning.
Winnable?
Yeah, it's winnable, Copium. Exactly. It's a winnable possibility here
I
for
missed
the.
you so much, buddy.
But at the same time, I kind of agree with you. I think they do have a lot of answers on the side of Ravens here. I think this last pick, Sven, is very, very, very good at dealing with the Medusa, right? She has a lot of effective HP with the mana, and one of the ways to deal with it is to either have mana like burn or just massive amounts of like just burst damage, and Sven brings that. Yeah.
More damage.
Yeah, and Sven just brings that. That's what he is. He is just the damage machine.
Yeah. It's kind of funny like how valuable this guy's shard is. But he's not going to go forward this game just because he needs damage. The armor is like practically useless. He might get an ultra late game if like all of his teammates are like on top of the Musa trying to trade with him, but like support Sven that you've seen versus like carry Sven, it is so insane that the shard is so valuable on the support, and like you don't get it all on the carry.
Yeah, that's like the freebie off Roche sometimes, where it's like if everyone's already bought their shards, you're like, all right, Sven, you need to take it now.
You can have our hand-me-downs.
Yeah. So we're going to see Dismar once again playing the Doom. I think I've seen him play this hero like 5 times so far in the Pro Series, which, like I said, is surprising to me because I feel like this hero is really bad, but they always seem to pair it with the Visage offlane. And like I was saying, these Soul Assumption charges like build up super quick just because Doom is kind of like a big meat shield. He just takes a lot of damage. He deals a lot of AoE damage with Scorched Earth, and then you just start spamming out these Soul Assumptions. That being said, into Jakiro Medusa, not the easiest heroes to bring down.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against a double range lane. A lot of time you're not going to be able to close that gap of distance with Scorched Earth. You're not going to be able to hit him with Infernal Blade. Does he go for the first point in it rather than Devour, though, and just immediately start trading with them? And he went for Soul Assumption, so... Okay, I like this a lot. They see DNM comes to lane with just 3 tangos, and they immediately just try to pump damage into him and punish him. Now he's just super far back. Dude, Ravens is so good at this video game.
As I told you, they have ran this exact lane combo like several times now, and it sucks like trading into Benjaz because he's just gonna dump all the Soul Assumptions into your carry in the first like 2 minutes, and then suddenly your carry's like, all right, well, I can't lane anymore.
Yeah, well, he's dumping all of his mana into this one as well. He's gonna just drop another on him. No, he goes for Albino Zebra, and he's dropping pretty low.
Yeah, he has 1 and 1 more mana. And that's going to be it. First blood to Benjaz. This is exactly what we see every single time they run this lane.
Without fail. I mean, you were talking about how much damage would come out here. I was, like, concerned they were going to be able to gap that distance, but they immediately start punishing them for not coming to lane with enough regen here.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword on Jakiro. Like, he hits a 2-hero dual breath, and then Visage is like, oh, thank you. Here's a 300 damage nuke.
Level 1. Don't mind if I Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
I've missed that. I've had to coin that phrase myself since, you know, you've been a little bit MIA. But I'm adapting it a little bit.
80s.
I'm on the Yabba Dabba Doo train.
Oh, taking it old school.
Yeah, you know. It's really dating myself, but it's fine.
Speaking of dating myself, you know it's my birthday in 2 days? Well, 1 day over here.
How are you gonna celebrate?
I'm gonna be on the broadcast with you.
Oh, whoops. I'm sorry, bud.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have wished that for anybody.
Let's go. Let's break down some of these other lanes, shall we? Bottom lane. Uh-oh. Skywrath mate, you don't have magic wands. I'm disappointed here, Ricky. I'm disappointed.
It's not that much.
Out now.
Because, like, Skywrath Mage always goes to Concussive Blast level 1 nowadays, and it's like... It's not a ton of charges you're going to get from it.
Dude, he's just, like, dying over here.
Yeah, Merlin in trouble. Kara unable to... Who the heck is Merlin? Who is this?
Merlin? That's one of their stand-ins. That is a Merlin from Eastern Europe / CIS region.
Yeah, okay. I've literally...
Yeah, I was looking this one up before the game.
This is a lie. This guy's not real.
Ukraine. He's from Ukraine.
Okay. Well.
Meanwhile, up in the top lane, they end up losing albinos. You got to keep eyes on the prize here. You distracted our talented observer.
Jerry doesn't make mistakes, let's be real. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Speed, locked in the cage, as the beast should be.
I'm a big fan. All right, he's gotten a 2-point trample, 1-point uproar. What has the standard build been here in BTS Pro Series NA?
It's usually like 1-2-1 max trample.
Let's see.
Almost
and
always.
They just go trample level 2 always.
Some people go onslaught 2, but at 3. But to be honest, like I think right now he's not willing to like go for like Soul Ring or mana, so he's just kind of avoiding it. He does have double mango though, so Speed could go for the onslaught if he wanted. Onslaught's just really mana hungry. It is 120 mana cast. It's like 40% of your mana pool almost.
Yeah, versus the other spell that's just free.
Yeah, 0 mana.
0 mana, very cool.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did decrease it from 10 to 6. You said it was 8.
Oh, I thought it was 8. Yeah, 10 to 6. I knew it got nerfed pretty bad, but yeah, 10 to 6.
Yeah. I didn't even read. Well, I actually did read the patch notes. I got like down to the letter, I think like D, and then I stopped reading.
Wow. That is. Was it because you like forgot how to read, or you like that's as far in the alphabet you got?
I don't read so well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's as far in the alphabet I got. Before I had to move on to better or other things.
Dude, I'll be honest. I read the C patch notes when I was on vacation. Like I was out for like coffee and just like was kind of skimming through them, and that was about it. Top lane, they trade there. Dismar for AB1.
AB1.
Okay.
Am I right?
What is it?
Sorry, I was trying to make a cool segue into that kill. Wasn't that cool? How about the segue over to the kill that's about to happen in the mid lane?
There's a kill happening in the mid. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think they have the damage for Kunkka. There's no way. You need level 6 on Pango, right? Like, he has to have the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
He is getting kind of bodied mid, let's be real.
You know what I don't have with me right now? I don't have my... I use one of those nerd hotkey pads when I'm doing casting / obsing. I don't have that with me, so now I just have to manually click the buttons for like last hits in net worth and whatnot.
Oh, they're gonna look for Dismar here on the Doom. Ooh, nice dodge on the swashbuckle, and that's gonna allow Dismar all the space he needs to get on out of there. Sick torrent too.
I got the moves there on the Kunkka. AB1's got to get out of here now, otherwise he gets run down. Still another like 10 seconds until Scorched Earth's available. If he connects this this Grave Chill, I'm pretty sure AB1 just gets run down.
It's close. One more. Ooh, the raindrop, of course. Still would have probably lived with just the stick, but either way. Raindrop, absolutely essential when playing against this Visage hero.
Yeah, he got that one pretty quickly. It died last time regardless, but I'm surprised Dismar didn't try to commit for that one. He had Scorched Earth coming off a cooldown another second. He has boots and the Jakiro doesn't. He was really that afraid of the Medusa just clicking him down.
You know, you gotta respect DNM. I'll say that much. This guy's pretty nasty. This is also one of his like favorite heroes, if I'm not mistaken. Like he loves playing Medusa, and it's already showing. He's top of the net worth already. 5RATFORCESTAFF in general, a 1K lead despite the 3-1 kill score, and that's just because they're farming exceptionally well in this off lane as well as their safe lane, right?
Now, was this the result that you were expecting coming like into this? This first 7 minutes of the game is absolutely over. First seed ends up taking out the fourth one. Fourth seed takes out first, just like that. Ricky?
Well, I figured that this off-lane Primal Beast lane would be going about this well. Like I said, the Sven is not really like a great lane counter to him, just because you can't really like trade against the Primal Beast as a Sven. Like he doesn't do anything.
Come on, they nerfed Uproar.
Yeah, but it's like you can't like really even and like cleave in the lane. Maybe his cleave is just under the damage threshold. Oh god, no.
He got the damage stacked from it.
Yeah, it's like it depends on how much of a damage or how his damage rolls is what it is.
Yeah. You know what I think?
Top lane, X and Evoke onto DNM. He is out of mana kits with a rotation on in. The Rolling Thunder will help keep him alive. He's actually going to cancel into the Swashbuckle. Takes down Benjaz, just chewing right through that Gravekeeper's Cloak.
Ben's getting run down at the same time.
That owned. Oh, you're right.
Trying to.
He's got a Pulverize in one. He's got him. No stun? Yeah, he's a dead Sven. So, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Depending on, I think once you have the 2 points in cleave and your damage roll, you break the threshold for Uproar, because it does have to be like 50 damage. And then like you just get free damage or free Uproar stacks every time Sven like hits the creep wave. And that's not fun to play against, I'll be honest.
Yeah, so the solution is just like not putting multiple points into the cleave early on to break the threshold, I believe.
Yep. But I mean, they're gonna look for more. They find the Disruptor, rotation in from the Skywrath Mage, and they'll grab themselves another and speed off to a fantastic start here. Man, I gotta play more Primal Beast. I love this hero. If only he was in my cavern ever.
I mean, he's in your captain's mode now.
That's true.
Far before he was ready to be put into the captain's mode.
I know what you're talking about. I think he's ready.
He's esports ready, as they like to say.
Dismar top lane, gonna go ahead and try and dive AB1 here. DNM is just gonna show his face. He's gonna try and just click down the Doom, and they get the kill. The rotation from Kits once again. The Rolling Thunder trying to target up this Visage. He's gonna get the first stun. The question is, can he get the second? He does indeed. Boat's gonna come through. He has Swashbuckle in one, finishes him off, and Benjaz will drop one bird, but two failed rotations now to the top lane. Like, very heavy commitment to try and get this tower. And they get the second bird.
Dive too far forward, they get punished for it, and now some of these heroes under level. Dismar being at level 5 here at 10 minutes in the game. The Visage does have his... Wait, where'd the Visage birds go?
Yeah, both the Visage birds are dead.
Oh, I looked away from that one. He just... All right, this game is over.
He lost both in the fight.
Yeah.
Initially to like the Medusa, and then the second one was trying to like be used to like trying to give him space, and they just ice pass swashbuckled it when it came back and just instantly died. Pango is really difficult to deal with as a Visage from what I'm learning.
To deal with him right now, but all I can do is get a little bit of harass off on the Kits here. He's gonna bottle it back up, and he's gonna have the Diffusal Blade before long. This is actually a pretty sick item. You know why it's especially sick this game, Ricky?
What item? The Diffusal?
Yeah.
Hit me.
I don't know if you remember this, but they added a 50 mana cost to this BKB item.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think that Pango going this Diffusal Blade is even more value than it was before, because in these fights he just gonna like jump on you with a swashbuckle initially, and you're gonna be out of mana. Like, you can't escape and pop BKB and get out at that point anymore.
You're
like,
also heroes that are pretty low mana generally, right?
Yeah.
Like you have like 2 strength cores. Like Sven is particularly known for being kind of a dumb hero when it comes to his int gain, one of the lowest in the entire game.
He's a himbo, you can say it.
So, you know, he's not gonna do very well against that Diffusal. top lane. They're going to go ahead and drop the Doom off onto AB1, so they finally get themselves a kill here once again. It's not the best usage of the first Doom that you'd like to see, but it's something, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they trade towers.
Yeah, I mean, they're needing kills to get back into this one. They're down a little bit of net worth, down in kills. It's fine to commit that if they're not going to drop it on anything else. I think they're going to struggle to like drop it onto the Pango, and I don't really think any of those targets are really that ideal.
DNM is farming some big stackies right now, dude. Big ancient stack just been picked up here by this Medusa, who's got that Dragonlance completed, about to have the Yasha done as well. And that is just a super feels good timing on this hero. 13 minutes, phase boots, Dragonlance, Yasha. I mean, he is going to be accelerating super fast.
Do you believe in that item in current year?
Dragonlance?
No, Yasha is like your farming item.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. For Medusa specifically, because she's like a mandatory Manta builder. Like, if the hero doesn't build Manta, I think it's pretty bad. But for heroes that do build Manta, it's really good. And Medusa is one of those heroes that like goes from like averaging like 600 GPM to like 850 GPM if she buys a Manta, right? So
yeah,
quite different. But yeah, it's definitely not the days of like where we would see Juggernauts just get like a casual Yasha, right, or something like that. It's just definitely fell off.
I miss the good old days that really weren't that good. You think back on it, and we're like, shit, this game certainly is a lot better, a lot more complicated now.
Okay, well, I feel like an idiot. Medusa is going for Sanj and Yasha. My guess here is there's going to be a disassemble later. But meanwhile, mid lane, there's the X, the boat, and the Primal Beast. He did get the Uproar off, so he's tanking up a lot of damage here. And a big Ice Path Macro Pyre, plus the roll-in from Kits. Can they bring down the Visage? The Drunken buff is just not enough. Dad comes in, Sven. He's got a lot of damage with that God Strength, but they're just going to go ahead and try and kite him out. The X, the pull back onto the Medusa, the drop from the bird. Ice Path comes through. DNM, he needs to escape, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Never mind the disarm onto Sven. It's too much to deal with. They keep the Medusa alive and lose 4, and both birds again. How did they salvage this?
The Sven, I don't know how the hell that Medusa was so tanky. I think it was like 20 charge wand there popped by her in the middle of that team fight, and Sven was just too far committed at that point. Then of course you get the RNG from the lucky shot coming in. The same moment he actually tries to hard commit for that Medusa, and he's in too deep. It was insane.
It was that plus like the whole kinetic field. Like he got ice pathed and then dual breath, so he was just super slow and couldn't actually get to the Medusa. So that was. Yeah. That was pretty like shocking. I thought DNM was certainly dead. Instead, he now has a completed Sanj and Yasha, which isn't a Manta style. I remember how I was just literally talking about how Manta is essential, but my guess is he will disassemble this.
Yeah. Now you're to your BKB on the Primal Beast. I mean, things get a lot easier here. Meanwhile, Raven still has to build into all of their BKBs. The 3 of them that are necessary for them to be able to play that game. It is super unfortunate they had to take that fight before they had any of them ready. He's got the first one completed now on the Kunkka.
Yeah, which that's pretty big. But your Visage is not a BKB builder though, right? Like this is a hero that goes the Wraith Pact into the Shard. It uses the Shard as kind of like your pseudo BKB, right? Where you just make yourself invulnerable, heal yourself up a bunch. Granted, the heal got massively nerfed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's not only 25% restore.
Oh no, dude! If he loses these birds, this is a disaster. I think they're gonna be able to live though. They don't want to commit that far forward. They're already doing what we were talking about before, just sitting 4 heroes beside this Medusa as she goes for towers. We only got 16 minutes into this game though. They're doing it quite early.
Dismar has his blink on the Doom. It's definitely not the fastest blink we've seen him get. Like there was a game. He just was like 0. It was this exact thing. He was 0 and 3, but he had a 13.5-minute blink in a 4-position Doom, and we're like,
I don't mean to brag, but he was 0 and 3. Yeah, okay.
It just made no sense. Speed, he can pop the BKB if he wants, but instead he just gets pulled back. He knows his team is here to back him up, and I mean they just get the BKB, the first one out of the Kunkka for nothing. Yeah. A 5K gold advantage now. 5RATFORCESTAFF looking incredibly strong. No signs of slowing
the
down.
First seed team, very easy win for 5RATFORCESTAFF. We were both talking about it. Anyone who would have said that Ravens was favored going into this draft is absolutely crazy.
It would have been very foolish if a caster would have said he favored Ravens, right? It would have been super foolish.
Yeah, that person would look like a complete idiot.
Mid lane, Sven.
Blink Dagger now done on the Panko, by the way.
Is he really? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, and he gets the Brigand's Blade. Okay, just keep stacking the damage onto this hero. That seems fair. I mean, I don't know if like what he builds after this, to be honest. It's one of those things where like Pango just has so many different item builds. We could see him go for the Aghanim Scepter into like the Basher as well, as that's just always another great utility for dealing with these right-click heroes like Sven, who rely on BKB. We're gonna see a little bit of rotation top potentially.
Yeah, he's gonna go for Lincolns.
Ooh, Merlin. About to just face check the high ground, finds Kara, gets the silence off onto him. He actually might be able to just kill the Disruptor that simply. He does. They actually had full vision of this on Ravens, and they are just too afraid to fight them. No. Yeah. Primal Beast TP bottom did get scouted. So Benjaz is gone.
My good friend.
Oh, I'm a good friend of
I
yours?
talked about these BKBs. Yeah, of course.
Oh, cool.
One of my few people that put up with me. As like a coworker. Sorry, not a friend.
Of course.
I imagine that you wouldn't put up with me if you weren't a coworker. So anyways, this this game looking pretty rough for Raven. I talked about the BKBs being one solution, but at this point when you're down 7k net worth here at 18 minutes in the game, is just the BKBs enough?
I mean, it's not. It's definitely not. That's the problem, right? Like, you have this Medusa. We talked early in the draft where, like, 5RATFORCESTAFF, their draft was their first 4 picks entirely magic, right? All magic damage. You have a blink now on speed. He just goes in, gets instantly sized. He forgot to pop that BKB. He's going to try and force something out of this enemy team, but instead, he just has to onslaught away. Well, he won't make that mistake again.
You say that. But Raven's going to be looking for them to make that mistake several more times in order to get back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it did cost you the BKB on the Primal Beast, but in terms of, like, Pulverize, I think it has no cooldown compared to, of course, Static Storm.
Yeah. I wonder if at this point, Kits is thinking about going for a Basher instead of the Lincolns that he's currently got queued up, just to be able to initiate a little bit easier. Because right now, you just have to, like, onslaught in and then Pulverize. If you could initiate with like a swashbuckle bash, it would make life so much easier.
Behind the tower, AB1 puts down a ward, but gets found.
Out of position. They can't fight this.
Yeah, there's gonna be an easy pickup there, an instant D-ward as well, and you know, decent initial thought there. Just didn't pan out quite well. DNM obviously able to outrange the tower because
they had no thoughts there.
4 staff away, he's gonna be safe. Oh my gosh, did he get one of the birds? He did. Oh my, single swashbuckle killed the bird.
Did he have it outside of the...
they just nerfed the range on this. People may not know this.
900.
The range was nerfed from 1200 to 900, so you cannot feel... your birds are definitely not as safe as they used to be. Oh, glimpse, pull back. The Doom comes out. All right, this Medusa... caught out of position now finally. She's going to get a little bit of help from the rest of the team. Ice Path does come through, but Speed pops the BKB, but they just return with their own. They're going to chase him down. The Sven with this physical damage, it's doing everything it needs. They've gotten to now potentially a third as a chain feed here from 5RATFORCESTAFF is going to put Ravens right back onto the map.
That's right. Just like my favorite anime, Zombieland Saga. They bring it back here, Ricky. That was... a questionable initiation. They went all in to save that Medusa afterwards. I don't think they realized Ben was able to output this kind of damage at this point. But just BKB Mask of Madness ended up being enough room to stand his ground. And of course, we talked about this at the beginning. It's only Medusa doing the physical damage here. So once you have these BKBs active, nobody else is doing anything. So these early BKBs at 9-second there on Sven, like, it needed to put in work, and it did.
Yeah, it gave them a lot. Being able to get that first kill onto this Medusa is huge. I guess he's just valuing the status resistance this game because of the Doom. We might see him back for like a Lincoln's eventually, but it looks like he's gonna like kind of go for like the butterfly into probably a satanic. Like that's kind of one of those builds where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get gone on. All I can do is just auto attack stuff and see how it goes. So that's what we might see him end up doing with this.
I think this is one of like better than they can choose to build here for sure against this Sven.
Well, right now we know the ultimates are on cooldown from the side of Ravens as well as the BKBs, right? So, oh no, BKBs are back off cooldown.
Static Storm's back off of cooldown as well. BKBs, yeah, they're available. The only thing you're missing here is Doom.
Yeah.
Even have a second summon of birds now.
I mean, if Speed can start the fight on a good target, it would be pretty huge. They're gonna go ahead and smoke up here on the side of Ravens.
Looking for an angle into this one. They're throwing the birds one more time.
Oh, the BKB, the jump. They managed to get on top of this Kunkka, but can they burst him before the BKB? They've done it. Great way to start the fight, and a great Stone Gaze there coming out from DNM is going to be able to hold back the whole backline. Kits gets himself a second. Dad, of course, trades for the Primal Beast. His BKB is still available. Benja has the bird. It's dead. They jump in. They get the Doom onto the Medusa. She needs help and fast, but they just kill Dismar immediately. AB1 gets absolutely destroyed. That BKB is starting to expire. Kits, he's got to get the disarm if they want any chance of keeping this hero up. Looks like they will just back out as the buyback comes through from Merlin. And DNM ready to fight once again.
There's no, what do you mean ready to fight? There's no way this guy's ready to fight. Half HP, no mana. He's going to the pit. This is insane. Certainly he gets punished for this.
He's got to find a Mystic Snake target.
Okay, yeah. All right, he's not going to go back to the pit. I was worried there for our boy there for a second there, Ricky.
He thought about it. Dad's going to go ahead and walk into the pit, though, potentially. Both teams still really hovering around this Roshan.
Yeah, Kunkka's back. He's got his BKB available still. It is super unfortunate that he ended up getting pulverized there before he could click that BKB ping advantage. Ping abused by 5RATFORCESTAFF.
Oh,
that's all it is.
Speaking of pulverized, they go in, they find the Disruptor. Nicely done. They get themselves the D-Ward as well up onto the high ground. That's going to limit a lot more of the vision here that they can play with. And Roshan falling low. Torrent will scout at the BKB back up on the Kunkka. The Wraith Pact waddling its way towards the pit. Boat comes out, does connect. Roshan down to 700 HP. Kits with the Rolling Thunder. They even get the Stone Gaze off. They want to be able to secure the Roshan. They've got to take it down quickly. No one able to make it into the pit. DNM will grab it. Benjaz on the backside doing what he can, but a nice stop there from Speed, but they turn around the BKBs from both cores trying to chase after them. Kunkka disarmed for now, but Dad, he can't actually get on top of the Primal Beast. There it is. The stun comes through. They able to finish him off. Other side of the fight as they chase for more. They get the Visage.
So Stone Gaze denying the majority of that pit there. They're not able to get into anybody else other than the Doom to blink pretty far forward there and just ends up getting himself killed. So a disadvantage now for 5RAT, but again, I think you're in the position where the later this goes, even though you're playing against Medusa, I think the better off you are. Just due to the fact that as this game goes on, it will become more of a 1v5 scenario.
Yeah, we might see DNM pick up this butterfly here pretty quick. He's not too far away. And once he has that...
You can say, neph, you're an idiot. This Medusa is going to own. Come on, Ricky.
It's like, I think once he has the butterfly up, which, there it is. They have a really hard time taking this Medusa down. Because realistically, like...
You're being too nice to me. It's, you know, we haven't cast together in like a couple
I just miss you, man. What? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, do you think the stick or the butterfly has more value? There it is. He's gonna swap the butterfly in.
Obviously the magic wand, my friend. I believe Purge Gamer said that this is the single most value item in Dota 2. There we go, he swapped it back in.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. Gotta have that magic wand in your inventory, especially on Medusa. I mean, run out of mana, you want to be able to throw another Mystic Snake out so you can get more mana.
I like it. Checks out. Dude, do you remember when she had like a plus 30% mana stolen talent?
Yeah, it was stolen back then as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like you recover mana, you just steal it from the enemy. Nobody has any mana if they're playing against Medusa.
Yeah, it was just mid lane Medusa was like, all right, I'm gonna just throw this Mystic Snake. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I just lost all of my mana. Very cool. DNM onto the high ground. super tanky Medusa build here, just like in terms of like obviously the status resistance, the regen, and of course the evasion, plus a Hurricane Pike. Like he's got a lot of tools to kind of keep himself alive. Other side of the fight though, they find Kunkka. He was going for a wraparound. Ooh, that is not gonna pan out, sir. That is no Kunkka for 50 seconds. He does not have buyback. Dad here on the Sven. No blink to try and get into this fight, but did finish up that AC.
Yeah, but now he's playing against a Butterfly Medusa. He's a long way from finishing an MKB. They're just clucking down the racks. They know they can't really initiate this fight without the Kunkka. This was their Assault Cuirass, their BKB, their initiator. Like they can maybe try to go forward here on the Doom.
Yeah, it's like you have Blink Doom, but you can't Doom the Aegis.
You also have Blink Lincolns on the Pango with a ping advantage.
Yeah, I think right now, like what they're realizing is they can't actually fight. So
here and watching it happen. Somebody call an ambulance, call the police. Stop this.
Man, I wish that voice line would have been allowed in the game. That was going to be a good one.
That one, yeah.
Thanks, Valve. Too toxic, though. Who would have guessed?
You are a toxic individual. Truly the spirit of NA Dota.
Yeah, it's all right.
The best of us and the worst of us. Yeah, they're just clicking down another building. Tier 2 in the mid lane, 100 to 0, and they're afraid to approach them. Thankfully, Sven is on the other side of the map farming, but I don't think that he's going to get this MKB before the second set of racks goes down here. They got Fortify, so maybe they can take a fight under Tower Flak or something. Dude, I think at this point, you just pick up the Egg Shard on Kunkka and like you try to
slow it down, like disarm and stuff. Yeah. Well, one of the birds is just dead, caught by the Ice Path, so Benjaz will have to resummon eventually. They go and get the mana all burned out from the Medusa. The X is there as well, and that's going to burn the Aegis. Wait a minute, it doesn't even burn the Aegis. DNM lives. There it is, finally taken down, but they burst the Kunkka once again, and Benjaz off onto the side, just absolutely soloed out. And he doesn't have the shard yet either, so he can't pop that Gravekeeper's Cloak to keep himself alive. Meanwhile, Sven unable to enter the fight at all. Two heroes dead once again. Of course, you do have the Doom available. They jump in, they have the Lincolns to protect him, and it works! The Doom, it doesn't end up connecting. Can the Medusa get space? He does. There's gonna be the Stone Gaze as well, and the rest of the team has to just run for the hills. Well played by Kits on the Pango, keeping him in. There's gonna be the Pulverize, catching out the Sven. His BKB's expired, but he turns around onto speed. The magic damage, the Mystic Flare isn't there. Can they finish him off? The Boulder almost does it, but he just barely survives. As now 5RATFORCESTAFF will retreat.
And they're not gonna be able to pursue here on Ravens. Man, these fights, they're so hard. Every time at the beginning, Speed is just on top of the Kunkka and it grabs him before he gets his BKB off. He just bursted 100 to 0. We talked about how scary this magical burst is. And all these heroes getting out of like no HP in that fight again. Lincoln Sphere comes off before the Doom manages to connect. The only thing that keeps the Medusa alive there. That would have been like their only hope to come back into this one. It just gets... I mean, after that set of racks there, it just gets harder and harder. I don't know how you solve this problem for the Kunkka. I mean, it's just him. He has to be the one who stands in front. But he also needs to get his BKB off or he dies. Like this is always vision advantage here in 5RATFORCESTAFF. They jump him, the Primal Beast managing to get the Pulverize before the BKB can be popped. It's happened 3 times now. He just died with his BKB available.
And you have a Sven who has to go for the Monkey King bar right now, right? Like he can't go for a blink. So you don't really have another form of initiation. And yes, the MKB will do a lot to this Medusa once he has it, but Medusa now has her own BKB. Just bought it outright, going for the shard next, and then eventually a Daedalus.
Yeah, he's going to stand his ground and fight underneath like this Disruptor ultimate underneath this Kunkka disable. Speaking of the Kunkka disable, yeah, he's like trying to go for the Torrent Storm, and once the BKB is done, it's going to mean absolutely nothing.
And off of this, 5RATFORCESTAFF now a 10k gold lead, looking incredibly strong. As it's just one outer tower remains. There are no refreshes on the fortification for Ravens either.
Yeah. I like that change.
Oh, Kara.
The fort change?
The what one?
The fortification change?
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the best like changes we've ever had to fortification.
Yeah. So when they brought it back down from 7 seconds down to 6 again.
Yeah. Ooh, a Titan's liver. Probably. Yeah, just gonna hold on to it. More status resistance, just gonna go a long way on this hero this game.
Quickening charm as well. That one probably just goes to the Pango. Right?
Maybe.
Who's holding on to it? Did they just send it back? They did. Unlucky. All right.
Well, protecting
Tries
the
to
ward.
establish vision, but speed's there.
Yeah, well, he ends up just dooming the Primal Beast right away, and it's actually... He's got a lot of damage, but the mech comes through. Glimpse pulls him back. Speed's... He's gone. Big Rolling Thunder in here, however, from Kits, plus the Stone Gaze. If they can stay on top of these heroes, get themselves at least a couple kills, it may be worth it, losing the Primal Beast like that. Oh, he's going to go in, buyback now on the Doom. DNM, he's on the low ground. Nice Ice Path there, separating the Kunkka once again. He doesn't have much to work with. He's just going to have to run back to the base. A 2-for-1 plus a buyback? I mean, I think that's fine for 5RATFORCESTAFF still.
Yeah, I mean, this Doom dies again, you're in trouble. The Doom was committed as well. That means they know it's safe to play around the Roche pit here. They were in the middle of establishing vision. You know, when trying to get the D ward off there on the Doom, he just initiates as quickly as possible. Speed hasn't been hesitating at all on these jumps. He's just like, okay, I'm going to go. I see my target. I'm just going to blink pulverize. Wait for my team to follow up with me.
They also have another Lincoln Sphere completed this time on Skywrath Mage. So another blink Lincoln. Speed goes in, grabs the Doom. They just want to force the dieback like we were talking about, and they got him. Mango Flow here, pops the BKB on the Kunkka. Gotta be careful. DNM returns with his own BKB, just standing his ground against the Sven, but the MKB's done. He gets bashed by Kits. Rolling Thunder coming through. That BKB's expired. There's the roll up. He just turns around, continue to chain stun down the Sven. Hurricane pikes him away even. He can't do anything. Just completely controlled up, and the trace continues as they go for Kunkka. They get the GG, and 5RATFORCESTAFF will be the ones walking away with a Game 1 victory.
Not what I was expecting going to this match. I see them picking 3 beefy boys up against all this magical damage. I see them take this Medusa last pick, and yeah, round out their draft really well, but I wasn't expecting them to do this well in the early game. I think they got slowed down by a couple of things. I mean, Kunkka's game wasn't amazing. He died a couple of times after he got the BKB completed. The Visage ended up losing his birds pretty quickly after they first came out. 5RAT played this surprisingly fast, you know, before these BKBs could even be completed, and looked a lot stronger than I expected going into this first game.
Yeah, I mean, Kits, we've seen him a few times on the Pango now, and he has had really good performances pretty much every single time on this hero. So I'm starting to wonder, like, if this is just ban-worthy in the first or second phase. Like, just don't let him get this hero. Yeah, he looks strong on it. He had a perfect game. Didn't really do exceptionally well the first, I would say, first 5-6 minutes, but then absolutely comes back, crushes it. Item build is on point. That blink Lincoln save there once again was super good. Yeah, I loved it. Super well played by 5RATFORCESTAFF. We'll see what they do though, because we are going to be going to a short break before we come back here with game number 2. Of course, this is a best of 3, the upper bracket. So we'll see you on a bit. Stay tuned here for more. Again, this is the BTS Pro Series Season 12. We'll see you after the break.